Hey, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the ZolYin podcast, where we talk about books, brains, and blockchains. And today I got something special for you. This whole article made my day. There's a lot going on in this article. And you remember a little while back, you might have forgotten. It was a while ago. We talked about quiet quitting and how it's a trend and how the how the mainstream media made it into a trend. I gotta say, guys, I'm not trying to like make fun of the mainstream media. They do a plenty good job themselves, but holy cow, bro, holy cow, they absolutely created a problem that didn't need to be created, and now they're trying to obfuscate their own responsibility and accountability in this situation. It's so funny. It's too funny. I think at this point in time, I can't not laugh at them. It's just not. I just can't not laugh at them. They're just such a joke. Let's get into it, okay? Because we had a whole slew of people the last year, and not even that. Let's just call it. Let's just call it what it is. Ever since Katana struck, okay? Ever since Katana struck, we had people who were quitting, who were changing new jobs, moving, leaving their state, leaving their cities, their towns, going elsewhere, doing remote work, what have you. But also, the people who stayed at their jobs lost faith in their jobs. They lost faith in what they were doing. They didn't see any benefits of working their butts off, especially a lot of the people who didn't, take the stimmy check, right? They went to work and they just worked the entire time. They didn't take some unemployment. They didn't stay home. They went to work. Or they worked from home. Either way, it doesn't matter. You're still working. A lot of people have a lot of resentment, okay? Especially when the economy taking a hit. A lot of people were not doing as much as they could do. They were more focused on their family, and also because a lot of people were losing their loved ones too. When you lose your loved ones, you makes you really think. Zoom out and look at the big picture. What really matters to you? What really is important to you, and so. A big catalyst of all of this is just kind of refocusing on what's the important things in life, right? Kind of contextualizing things as opposed to going through the day-to-day grind, 9 to 5, being complacent, being a puppet. A lot of people started thinking for themselves. I'm telling you guys, it's a wave of people, going their own way, going their own path, going down their own shadow path journey. That's why I'm telling y'all, if you're not on it, you should really consider going down your own path and not, following the following the crowd. Especially with a lot of people who had to take the quote unquote wax, and they're going through a lot of health complications. It's a very messy topic. There's a lot of reasons why people quiet quit. A lot of reasons. Maybe some people got promotions that they shouldn't have gotten. A lot of people are getting awake to the reality of corporate life. So it's a very thankless job, and it's soul sucking. And to be honest, why shouldn't they? To be quite honest, I'm gonna just say that right now. Why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they quiet quit? And focus on other projects. As long as you're saving that energy for something that matters to you, right? You're using it on something else that it's gonna benefit you in some way. Maybe it's a actual side hustle or a smaller business, or maybe you're focusing on your family and you don't care about the income's not an issue. You have some savings. You're fine. That's all about you focusing on yourself. Don't be shamed by these people, okay? But be smart about it. I just want you to remember that. Be smart about it, because this is a good lesson. What you're gonna see here, what we're gonna go through here today, is a big old reason why you should be focused on how to go about it. Being careful to go about it, right? You can't just willy-nilly do it. You'll see. Let's go into it. Okay? So RIP, quiet quitting, layoff fears have workers back to the grind. The Great Resignation gave workers the cover to take it easy on the job. But now, in the worsening economy, employers are cracking down. I'll be honest with you, it's just a quiet movement. It's been happening for quite a while, but they didn't know that. They didn't know that. by Aki Ito. I'm sure no relation to Junji Ito. That's a joke. That's a joke. YouTube, don't get me in trouble. One of the first documented cases of quiet quitting was a recruiter I'll call Justin. Deep into the katana pen, after working, we'll call it katana event. Deep into the katana event, after working 10 to 12 hours a day for much of his career, Justin had decided to dial it back on the job. Okay, you can't go 0 to 60. Okay, you gotta pace yourself. See, that's his big mistake. You can't do that. You gotta ease in. Okay, you gotta pull back slowly. You just gotta just a little bit. Maybe you go from 10 to 12 hours to 8 to 10 hours a couple months, and then from 8 to 10 hours to 6 to 8 hours for a couple months, and just pull it back. Over the course of 2-3 years, you can do whatever. Yeah, or you start out with the small, right? You start out, letting them know basically by your movements, right, that you're not gonna do that much. Now that's gonna put you at risk. But that's why you have to be in a field that you're not easily replaceable. Okay, you can't be in a low skill field. That's my tip to you. Justin had decided to dial it back on the job. When I spoke with him in February, he had whittled his work week down to 40 hours. In the ensuing months, he went even further, working as little as 3. In a few months, ensuing months, they don't tell you how many months. I would say within a year, maybe a little more than a year, you could whittle down to 30. Yeah, that's fine. But not. You can't get noticed. If you're getting noticed, you are above and beyond. You were trying to get noticed. Now you're doing this. You're gonna get noticed. Okay? Don't get noticed. Every week he worked a little bit less and less, freeing up to spend more time with his wife and their newborn baby. Yeah, not you can't do every week. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay flat. Like, they can't notice it. Okay? No patterns. Okay? That's the secret. # no patterns. Okay? This is like the strategy guide, the gamer's guide to work. It was Justin, in fact, who helped spark the national debate that's been raging over quiet quitting. He shouldn't have done that either. After speaking with him and other recovering overachievers, it's Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh my God, that's the new grift. I'm gonna make one. Hey, welcome back, guys. My name is Yin. I'm an overachiever. Oh, hi, Yin. Oh my God, dude, that would be so funny. Oh, that would make me so happy. I wrote about how hustle culture, thanks to the job security granted by the roaring economy, was giving way to coasting culture. Coasting culture. It's coasting culture. Oh my God, I love this. When a popular career coach on TikTok riffed on my story, the phrase quiet quitting became something of a new cultural dividing line. You either love the Justins of the world for striking a reasonable work-life balance, or condemn them as slackers and cheats. I'm going to do a video in a maybe a couple days, or maybe next week, talking about 2 different mindsets, and one of them is the crab mindset. This is crab mentality. Slackers and cheats. You're a crab, okay? Calm down, okay? We get it. You're in the bucket, and you want people to come down with you. Just stay down there and be miserable. That's fine. But by the time the U.S. was furiously debating his new approach to work, Justin was already shifting gears. Over the summer, as the economy began to slow, he noticed his clients were scaling back on their hiring plans. Performance reviews seemed to be getting tougher. Oh no! So his colleagues were let go. Oh no! It made me nervous, he told me. It hit me that I'm the only one who works in my family. So he decided to play a little more safe. Oh, Justin, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Today, Justin, the OG quiet quitter, is going above and beyond. It's back. He's working 50 hours a week. Yo, they got him working 50. Oh. They got him back on the plantation. Oh no, Justin, say it ain't so. Oh man, that's too bad. We can't all be that way. We can't all be freedom fighters, okay? We can't all be in the underground. At the moment, the job market is still strong. You tell them, Ito. You tell them. I'm sure they'll give you a nice little reward, a little nibble, a little biscuit for this one. Just keep yipping. But with job openings down by 15% since March's record high, it's clear that the frenzy of the Great Resignation is beginning to moderate. After a year of scrambling to accommodate their restless employees, employers are regaining the upper hand. Look, employers are doing what they gotta do. Okay, if they probably, let's be honest, they didn't do well on their budgets, because if they did, they probably would be fine. But they didn't do well on their budgets. They probably messed up, allocated some funds to the CEO's back pockets, right? Shouldn't have done that. That's usually what's going on. That's not everybody, but that's usually what's happening. That's the culprit, the usual suspects there. And I would say, just looking at the overview of the entire marketplace, a lot of mismanaged money is happening. So they're trying to cut back and try to make ends meet so then they can actually survive in this marketplace. Again, I'm not a shill, but I understand where they're coming from. It's just that you did it to yourself. You know, it's back to the whole take accountability. You did it to yourself. You could have had a backup plan, some actual backup savings, pull an Apple, right? Again, that is Apple. They have a lot of money, but you could still stock up that money for a rainy day, just like this kind of situation. Just basic budgeting, okay? 101. Everybody has an account. They know how to balance. Hopefully they do how to balance their checkbook. It's not hard, man. If I can do it, you can do it. You know, I ain't no super duper quadruple genius. After a year of scrambling to accommodate the restless employees, employers are regaining the upper hand. Workers are sensing the shift in the mounting headlines about company layoffs, the budget cuts that are limiting their raises, and the heightened scrutiny of their productivity. The smart ones like Justin are adjusting their behavior accordingly. Oh Lord. Reading the tea leaves, we could be in for a difficult 2023. Brian Creeley, the career coach who coined the term quiet quitting, told me, I wouldn't just quiet quit and kick your feet up and go, okay, I'm good. It's not the best time to scale back if you have no intention of leaving your company. Now, in my opinion, you can do it at any point in time. You just have to be smart about it. Okay, if you are now again, it depends on what company you're in. Some places have a lot more visibility, a lot more, the Panopticon, go look that up. They have a lot more, cameras and visuals, and they can see you at every moment in time. A lot of Randall recess behavior. Go look up Randall recess. Okay. So if you're in that situation, yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and you probably want to reconsider where you're working, right? Again, it's all about what your goals are. What are your goals? Figure out what the environment is and then adjust accordingly. If you are in an environment that has a low skill situation, yeah, you're going to want to figure out a place where you're not so replaceable, and then you can kind of do your own thing. So just be aware of that. You can't be like at Starbucks kicking back. That won't end well. And also, they will notice you in places where you are overachieving and you have a low skill. They will lean on you hard, very hard. So be careful with that too. Compelled to work harder. See, that's, by the way, the next grift. That's the next PSYOP, where they get you to think about your work and how you just kind of guilt you into working harder, even though you get zero pay for what you're doing. At that point, versus you doing your normal job and just sticking to the thing. Because remember, quiet quitting is not just being lazy. It's doing exactly what you agreed to on the contract when you signed to say, hey, I want to be your employee and I agree to these things. You are not going above and beyond. You are going just on the dotted line. I will be on time. I will do my job. I will work X amount of hours. What they're advocating is you go way above and beyond and make sure you don't get replaceable, blah, 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 right? It's just, you just got to keep that in mind, okay? They're robbing you every time you do that, okay? Just remember that. So just so you don't get kicked out. That's really what it is, which is gaslighting and very toxic. And it's a cult mentality. That's a cult technique. Just remember that too. So just be careful. Compelled to work harder. It's not surprising that coasting culture turns out to be sensitive to the fluctuations of the labor market. Well, no, duh. Like, come on. What are we doing here? Why'd you even write this? This was not, you don't need to write this. Given that its predecessor, hustle culture, was born in the age of economic insecurity. Actually, it was a gold rush, so not really that. In the 1980s, the rise of globalization and the wave of mergers and acquisitions led to a spate of white-collar layoffs. Okay, so I want to pause right there, okay? Let's keep that right there. Let's pin that right now. You see what I'm saying, guys, about how you vote? Be careful how you vote. You voting a certain way that's pro-globalization, that's pro-inviting people in the world, you're just voting for your own replacement. You're voting for your own replacement. I'm going to say that again. You're voting for your own replacement. You see what happened? The corporations saw the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, we're pro everything. Yes, bring on all the different kinds of colored people so we can abuse them and pay them by the penny and replace you. Just remember that. 100% it's all about money. Every single time. It has nothing to do with your human rights. They do not see you as human. They do not even see you as a person. You're a number. You're a robot. They're all robots. They see them as an capability of being even lesser than how they pay you and how they treat you. And so they see gold. When they see those people, oh, India, oh, China, oh, whatever country, they're like, yeah, I want them, because they can abuse them. They can take full advantage of them just like they did to you, but even more so because there's way less laws out there when it comes to how they treat foreign help. Just saying. So just keep that in mind. This is 100% about replacing you as an employee, as a resource. They don't see you as a person. They see you as minus money. Okay? Minus money and free work. That's the goal for them, is to get most out of you for the least. That's the truth. In the rise of, where are we at? Oh, the post-war. The post-war promise of stable lifetime employment was over. Because of this, because of this risk, people felt compelled to work harder and become indispensable. You're not indispensable. That's a myth. She just gave you a lie. You are never indispensable. You are always replaceable, okay? It's just how less replaceable are you, right? It's just you stacking up more and more things so you are less replaceable. Just remember that. You are never not replaceable. You are always replaceable. So don't be afraid of the void of getting, terminated. You have to just keep stacking, and don't get comfortable either. There's a middle ground. You don't get too comfortable where you think you're, unstoppable and unbeatable and irreplaceable. And you don't think to yourself, like the rat I always tell you guys about, don't be afraid of being kicked out and fired and all this stuff. You just have to understand there's a balance between the two. There is a balance between the two. You can be replaced, but you also, you can make changes to how replaceable you are. You can make it so that it's harder and much more difficult, to the point where they just don't see the point of even bothering. So keep a nuance to it, okay? Where are we at here? Because of this, says Mary Blair Loy, a professor of sociology at the University of California at San Diego, who has spent her career documenting what she calls work devotion schema. Millennials like me who graduated in, I don't know why I gave her an old woman voice. Millennials like me who graduated into the Great Recession devoted ourselves to our jobs even more fiercely. We were grateful to have jobs at all, even if we were underpaid and overqualified to do them. We worked nights and weekends to make sure our bosses didn't swap us out with the many, many millions who stood on the sidelines. Even worse, we convinced ourselves we wanted to overwork, that we toiled long hours Not out of necessity, but out of passion. Yo, she is absolutely she's losing it. We were working ourselves to death because we were changing the world. Oh my God, she is completely converted. She is a cult member. It took something as big as the katana event to shake us out of that mindset and to imagine our lives might change if we stopped putting work at the center of them. But it was a red hot job market that emerged in the spring of 2021 that really gave workers the chance to live out their liberating new philosophy. There was no red job hot market. Stop. You are absolutely smoking weed. What are you talking about? You are absolutely on dope. There was no red hot job market. There was we actually screwed up and we got too many people who did not want to get the wax up out of here. So now we're having some openings and we're willing to kind of overlook a couple things. That's a good opportunity for people who don't have skills to get into a job and learn the skill and actually be skilled. So that's the only part that is different, yes. But that's still the same now. You could still do that now. Like there's lots of openings that have, there's lots of job openings now that if you were willing to learn a skill, you can go and get in there and do it. I don't know what... People believe what they want to believe. That's what this is. Just do your own research. Do your own research. And you'll see, there's still lots of opportunities. When it comes to like, it's the same. It's not the difference. The only difference now is the economy took a hit. So the dollar took a hit. So let me see here. Where were we at? But it was a red hot job market that emerged in the spring of 2021 that really gave workers the chance to live out their liberating new philosophy. Desperate to attract job candidates and regain their existing staff, companies were suddenly crowing about work-life balance and showering employees with pay time off and flexible work schedules. You look burned out, Susan. Hey, take a mental health day. I don't know who said that, but I've never seen that. Maybe you have. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. You seen a job that did that? That was like not a tech job, and even so, they still do that. I don't know. Unless it's Twitter. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me see here. Let me see here real quick. Companies were also hanging on to every employee no matter how bad they were at their jobs. At the end of 2021, human resources managers reported that they were going to manage out fewer than 2% of low performers compared with the usual 5%. The national layoffs rate plunged into a 2-decade low. When I spoke with Justin in February, he exuded the confidence that many employees were feeling about their job security. Quote, companies have a vice grip on even their moderately good employees, he told me. I was like, look, they're not going to fire me. It would take the months to find someone new and train them up. My lessened productivity is better than zero productivity. Employees were doing the math and it added up to less work for the same pay. Oh snap! We're about to turn up the heat. Give me 1 second. I think somebody's at the door. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I had somebody at the door there. I had to take care of something at the door. It was a delivery. All right, so back at it again. Okay. Turning up the heat. Things today look very different. For starters, considering what's going on at the company formerly known as Facebook. Ooh, as my colleague Callie Hayes reported, executives at Meta have instructed managers to bucket 15% of their employees as needs improvement. HR speak for shape up or ship out. CEO Mark Zuckerberg informed his staff that he would, quote, turning up the heat on performance goals to shed employees who couldn't meet those standards. Some of you might decide this isn't the place for you, he said. That self-selection is okay with me. This guy is such a psychopath. In a telling observation, one employee noted that Meta's moves amounted to quiet layoffs. That's because he he threw away all that money into the metaverse, as we've talked about in the past. You can look at my metaverse videos about that. The same pattern is playing out elsewhere in the tech industry. Over the summer, managers at Snap were told to put at least 10% of their workers on performance improvement. A few weeks later, the company cut its full-time workforce by 20%. At Google, CEO Sundar Pichai, I almost said Pikachu, Sundar Pichai complaining that the company has become slower as its headcount has grown, declaring that he wanted to increase efficiency by 20%. Oh no! At Oracle, which let go hundreds of employees in August and again this month. Employees worry that more cuts are coming. Nationwide, the unemployment rate remains at 3.5%. Okay, that's a lie. That is 100% a lie. We are definitely at 10% at minimum. 100%. I am not convinced one bit that we are at 3.5%. That is a lie. I will not believe that. 100% I will not believe that. That is absolutely fabrication. These guys are fudging the numbers, matching its lowest level since 1969. But that won't last. The Federal Reserve expects unemployment to climb to 4.4%. That's code for we printing some more, baby. By the end of next year, and Bloomberg's economists now project a 100% probability that the country will face a recession within the next 12 months. You mean the recession we're already in? You see, you guys gotta read between the lines. We're already in a recession, and these bozos are talking about we're gonna be 100% in the recession. They don't do 100% probabilities or any of this stuff when it's not already happening. Okay, this is already happening. We're in it. Get used to it. It is what it is. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just telling you we're already here. They're bozos right now. Gone are the days of sky-high salary offers from desperate employers. That depends on where you are. That depends where you are. What company you working for? What industry are you in? What do you do? Sensing that they have the upper hand, companies are cracking down on remote work. Again, that depends on what you do. They're also cutting travel budgets, scaling back year-end parties. Those are trash, and I hate traveling for work, so I will not miss those. Thank you. Please take those away. Could you have taken them away? Can you go back in time and take them away even further? Where are we at? And quietly sunsetting the mental health days they've been lavishing on employees. No comment. Not the kind of environment in other words, in which you would you want to be seen as giving less than 1,000%. Yeah. Quit. Oh man. Yeah. But even as the Great Resignation turns into a plain old resignation, I don't think hustle culture is ever coming back. Gee, you think? Oh my God. America's addiction to overwork wasn't just about the hours we put into our jobs. It was about looking to our careers to provide our lives with meaning and define our identities. No, people are definitely going to be going back into their boxes. It just depends on how many people. There's always going to be some layover left that are going to stay the course of what happened. People's minds who have like changed based on their experiences of the dark stuff they saw, it can't be unchanged. I saw some dark things during this whole thing. I can't go back. It's changed my opinion of employees, co-workers, corporate entities, companies I would pay for services from. It changes your opinion and your views on them. The relationship will never be the same. Some I would say even some people would cut those services. I've certainly cut many services, and I'm not ever going back. So it's just it's a lot of give and take depending on where you are. So just keep that in mind as well. Let me see where we are. Free temporarily from the shackles of hustle culture, millions of Americans have glimpsed a new way of ordering their lives. I don't think that people can forget this reevaluation that they've done. Jessica Kriegel, chief scientist of workplace culture at the conspiracy that's a Freudian slip, at the consultancy culture partners. They should change that to conspiracy culture partners, because that sounds like a conspiracy place. We're never going back to pre-katana norms. I could have told you that. I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? I said Wax Wars a long time ago, or Wax Watch or something, where we can't go back home again. That's certainly true for Justin. Even though he's back to working 50 hours, the way he thinks about his job has permanently changed. He no longer talks about work when he sees his friends. He's good. That's a good improvement. He stopped obsessing over his company's internal rankings to make sure he's at the top. Okay, that's good. That's a very good improvement. Proud of you. He laughs about old Justin. I think you and old Justin are too similar still. Sorry. Who liked to boast about how hard he worked, how busy he was. New Justin may be devoting more hours to his employer. That's a quote. But he's no longer relinquishing his soul. I don't know about that. You did came back. Again, I would have just taken the L. All right, go ahead and terminate me. Or at least get to the point where you have a second job or some other job on the back end where you're okay with them letting you go at that point. Then that's fine too. I learned that too much of my identity and my life was wrapped up in work, he told me. Even if I am working more hours again, I don't feel that way anymore. Sounds like he's about to cry. It's a relief it's a relief to have learned those lessons, to have had that wake-up call. As soon as the economy bounces back, Justin is determined to return to coasting mode. Oh man, I don't know, Justin. They might just terminate you from there. He doesn't like working 50 hours a week or 50-hour weeks. He knows he's missing out on the moments he used to have with his wife and his daughter, the mornings together, the swim classes, the late afternoon strolls. For him, the economic recovery can't come soon enough. I don't know, bro. You're going to be waiting a long time. If you're hoping for it to be like it was right before Katana, or even another Katana to happen, for it to be a situation where you have that situation like perfectly aligned and you can actually take advantage of it, I don't know, dude. You might be waiting 2 lifetimes, because I don't see that happening again. I don't see a Katana happening and then everything shutting down the way it did before. It was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. A lot of people used it for good. A lot of people squandered it. A lot of people tricked other people to squander it. It is what it is. You just got to move forward, right? This is one of those things. You can't go back and say, what could have I done with that time, blah, blah, blah. You had the time, it came, it went, we move forward. Learn from it. That's all you can do. This guy, he's still hasn't woken up yet that it's over. Like, it's over. They know they can punk you. So once they know they can punk you, it's kind of done. I'm not trying to be a dark man about it. I'm not trying to be, a black pill person about it. I'm not trying to bring you down, but you got to learn from it. These corporations, it's high school 2.0, 3.0. You just have to understand that once they smell blood in the water, they're going to go for the full thing. They're going to go for the meat. Okay. And if they can punk you once, they can punk you again, and they might just toss them out. I just remember, I'll tell you a quick story while I still got you here. I remember a time when the economy crashed, right before the economy crashed, when there was still a lot of uncertainty. Companies at least the company I was working for at the time was, they were doing what's the word I'm looking for? They were doing something what I would call a projection. They would project that they were going to do something, right? That there would be some sort of changes coming, and it was very ominous, right? When it's ominous and things are looking normal, I would say be prepared for something bad to happen, right? You started to see a few people let go, and you start to see more people let go, and then you start seeing even more people let go. At some point, you got to come to grips with, you might be let go, and you have to make peace with it, right? You can't live in fear like Justin over here. Justin punked out because he wanted to be with his family. But then also he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. You can't have it both ways. You have to be okay with the fact that you chose your family over the company. And if the company lets you go, at least you're content and pleased and happy that you chose your family over your company, right? Nobody wants to be that person who last minute, throw somebody else under the bus. You don't want to be that guy, because that says something dark about yourself as well, okay? You got to still have your integrity, your soul, your humanity as well, okay? Keep that dignity, okay? They're your family. You don't have another one, really. I mean, unless you have a secret wife and kids somewhere else. I don't know. This is your one and only, so treat them with love and cherish them. If that's what you want to do, spending time with them is more important than your company, then that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I support that. But be okay with these dummies, trying to lean on you. And you got to be able to push back or leave or let them terminate you or whatever. But you have to have that inner peace. This guy is a perfect example of someone who doesn't have inner peace. When they were letting me go, I'm going to tell you a dark story. I had a backup plan, okay? I had prepared mentally. I said, oh, if they let me go, they let me go. It's all good. And I was probably one of the last 100 people before they let go everybody, right? And I just remember thinking to myself, all right, I had 2 interviews tomorrow. I had an interview yesterday, and I had an interview Monday. We'll see who calls me by Friday. And when they let me go and they said, you're out of here, Yin, I was like, cool, I'm out. Can you just give me the check in the mail? I'm not going to wait in line for the check. Thanks. And I would just literally go to the interview that afternoon. So I'm not trying to it's not a flex or a brag, but it's about being okay, having that closure within yourself, okay? This is a psychological game. And if they want you to think about this work, they want you to think about it at home. They want it to invade your mind. They want to invade and penetrate your soul. They want to own you whole. That's how they get you to do everything that they want you to do, because that's the game. They don't want to be guilty of manipulating you, so they want you to kind of manipulate yourself and feel bad. So just keep that in mind. These people don't care about you. They're completely 100% a cult. It's just it's like 1,000 times worse than Scientology, okay? And you have to make peace with that. You and them are not friends. You are an employee. They are an employer. You are at odds, right? And you have this weird relationship where they pay you for a service you do by trading your time and your energy and your knowledge and your work and your skills into the work, right? So that's it from me today. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Appreciate your time. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Peace.